basic bookkeeping. I have a question for you. When you were in school or a young adult, do you recall anybody teaching you the skills required to manage your finances, to keep records, to run your own business, to do balance sheets, stock control, and so forth? That's why we have basic bookkeeping in Oikos, because it is our view that young adults really ought to have these skills to be able to be the good stewards of their finances and their households in a way that would be honourable and pleasing to God. I would like to just read a little bit to you from the introduction. Do not be intimidated if you do not understand all the terms that are used in this chapter. This book has been written in order to explain in simple terms what each of these complicated bookkeeping terms mean. The preparation of the balance sheets and income statements is vital for every business. Without basic records from which to prepare these statements, the necessary finance to fund growth cannot be obtained from banks and other similar financial institutions. Basic bookkeeping teaches on a self-study basis. I'm going to stop there. You've got the answer book here, and this is the book that is worked through, and with parents' help, of course, but it is a self-study basis. Initially, how to complete the books of prime entry of a business and go on to do the general ledger in such a way that a trained bookkeeper or accountant can use this information to produce monthly and annual balance sheets and income statements. Now, you might think that's all, more than is required if a student or a person isn't going to go into running their own business. But we really, really feel that it's extremely beneficial to young ladies that are going to be wives, hopefully, and young men that are going to be husbands, to be able to have an understanding of basic bookkeeping skills. Let me continue here. Proper record keeping is essential for any business. No balance sheet or income statement can be prepared without it. Often, however, personnel lack the necessary knowledge and experience to complete even the most elementary records. So this book is now going to give instruction on how to do the following: writing receipts, checks, controlling petty cash, completing orders, completing invoices and accounts receivable statements. Now, just that one, controlling petty cash, that is just a monthly budgeting steps that I think are just of great value to any individual. It's also going to cover the cash book, the petty cash book, purchases journal, sales journal, bank reconciliation, petty cash book balancing, writing up the accounts receivable ledger, and writing up the accounts payable ledger. Right, and finally, the reader will learn about the basic stock management and how to complete their general ledger. So I'm sure you can agree by now that this course is just of whether a student is interested in bookkeeping or accounting, or whether they're not. As far as I'm concerned, any student and every student that does this is going to actually gain some skills for life. For example, as a wife and her husband's running a business and she's helping with the books, if she's got these skills, or the husband is running his own books, or you're just keeping a management of your own personal finances in such a way that you understand about bank reconciliations and budgeting and keeping records of your financial statements and so forth. So to us, it is really, really necessary, and very, very many people don't see the necessity of it, and consequently they don't use it. And I just feel that it's a loss, and it's a gift to be able to have this written in such a way that it's presuming we don't know anything about bookkeeping. An accountant wrote this program for the sake of explaining things in simple terms that the layman, as it were, can understand and actually also teach and learn to gain these skills that are necessary for this function. So I hope you really are inspired to actually see to it that you pass these skills on to your student, and don't be overwhelmed if you don't have them yourself, because you're going to learn them as you go with this course.